just by watching them, you can see that their whole identity is being shaped and formed.
Leah Fowler is one of the staff at YTI who holds the title mentor. Often seminary or doctoral students at Candler, mentors live with the scholars and stay in constant conversation with them.
I would compare it maybe even to a midwife. You're not doing the forming yourself or the creating yourself, but you're there encouraging and holding hands or asking questions.
Those guiding hands are crucial at YTI because scholars encounter difficult issues.
You remember what the Civil Rights Act said?
On field trips like this one to the Martin Luther King Jr. Center, scholars encounter issues of race, class, and social justice.
I mean, I think it's really easy to live in the United States today and say, what racism? I don't see it.
For these scholars, engaging tough issues like racism is at the center of their faith commitment.
What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love mercy, to walk humbly with your God?
We began to really explore personally our differences and expose ourselves to ourselves. And it just made a big difference.
As challenging, passionate, and painful as these discussions sometimes are, they are clear evidence of the power of the YTI community.
I think that's one of the most important things that I've gained from YTI. I can listen to these people and we can engage in an educational debate where we won't come out hating each other at the end. You know, we come out even closer.
It's amazing when you put persons of difference together in a living environment, a residential environment. They can't go home, they can't run away.
But sometimes you just need to listen.
In the midst of this kind of intentional community, faith grows and expands. Scholars discover new ways to pray.
My prayers rise like incense.
New songs to sing.
And we will praise you for the rest of our days.
I love clapping the hands, I love raising the arms, and it's a blast.
New ways to worship.
I really enjoy the drum circle personally because I thought it united us, made us feel closer together.
So let's look at that first, which is...
Often faculty encourage scholars to look at familiar things in unfamiliar ways.
God is talking about God's self in the plural.
I think that most people, though they have Bibles and they read Bibles, never really engage the text at the level we try to do here. And so I try to hold them to the text, make them read it word for word, and to wrestle with what that says.
Frequently, what scholars find is not what they expected.
Our foundations have just been shaken. It's like an earthquake, and we're having to examine the structure upon which we've been standing and that we've taken for granted our whole 17 years.
Far from tearing faith apart, faith is rekindled and strengthened.
Then you reach the point of openness where youth are willing to explore other possibilities, where they're willing to say, perhaps this isn't as concrete as I once thought, or as simplistic.
We murder our soul when we tell ourselves you are too flawed for anyone to love.
It's an amazing process to watch. Scholars blossom. They're energized, empowered. They begin to find and use their own theological voices.
For me, it's just cultivated all these new ideas and just wanting to know more. And I think it's kind of given everyone kind of new life and new energies.
And in body
and in spirit,
you are beautiful.
That was so impressive to me, the intelligence of the young people and also their passion to pursue the questions that they were asked to deal with.
You, my dear, are the future preacher of America.
It's recognizing that, one, I do have gifts, and two, I do have a voice, and three, I do have something to contribute.
How many cases do you get per week?
YTI wants scholars to see that their faith has impact far outside sanctuaries and schoolrooms. It interacts with everything they do, every decision they make. YTI calls it being a public theologian.
If we can help youth to not only claim that personal relationship, but to see the social and public implications of that faith, then we've done a good work.
YTI is revolutionary in that we're trying to help youth recognize and respond to their call to participate in the healing of the world.
Saturday morning, the last day of YTI. Time to say goodbyes, board the bus, and return home. It's an emotional parting. For each scholar, it's been a unique experience. Each will take something different away, but all have been changed.
I went through this stage of just complete radical transformation. I was here, and then I went there.
There's not a day goes by that I don't reflect on some part of my experience at YTI.
I've not found really adequate words to truly articulate what takes place other than transformational, powerfully transformational.
And the changes continue long after the academy. As they go to college and chart the course for their lives, each scholar will bring the skills, the insights, and the theological perspectives they discovered here at YTI.
After YTI, I don't think my brain was ever able to stop. Everything I looked at was not just black and white. It was a consideration of what does that mean theologically and ethically.
Word is spreading about the power of this experience. YTI has spawned literally dozens of similar programs around the country.
The YTI idea is really brilliant, and it is validated.
I also would like us to be working with youth ministers and help them create forms of ministry with youth rather than for youth.
YTI, a transforming experience.
Love you with you too.
For scholars.
I think I've changed already, and I know I'm not the same.
I think you couldn't go away without being changed a little bit.
For teachers.
Let's sing that line again. Every time I meet these young people, the future for me looks very bright.
For staff.
But then how does it affect the way that we
It
relate?
revives me, it enlivens me.
And ultimately, transforming for the church and society.
The fallout is enormous. The ways it continues to touch local churches through youth, to other youth, to youth groups, to the adults who work with youth groups. I mean, it'll just keep spilling out and out.
YTI is opening doors that cannot be shut, opening doors to a way of integrating heart and mind and spirit and soul in ways that will change the youth and through them change the world.